Welcome to the 24th Annual Central Avenue Jazz Festival. Today we have a special guest with us, Mr. Michael Dolphin, son of John Dolphin, the one who made a significant contribution to the development of sounds of Central Avenue. Good day, Michael.
Good day. Thank you for having me. Thank
Absolutely.
you for this discussion.
Thanks for coming. And we're going to have a good time, a nice little conversation. I'm pretty sure I'm going to learn a lot myself, and along with the onlookers about Central Avenue from your special perspective.
Thank you.
So shall we start?
Absolutely.
Okay. So before we talk a little bit about the Central Avenue Jazz Festival, let me just get a little background about you. You were born in Los Angeles?
Born in Los Angeles, yes, absolutely. Born in Los Angeles and delivered at a general hospital over near Boyle Heights back in the day. I've been here all of my life except for the few years I was gone away with the military and with college and some time in Switzerland.
Switzerland, huh? But you had to find your way back to Central Avenue.
I had to find my way back to Central Avenue, and as trite as it sounds, I realized that this is where I want to be.
Great.
Forever.
So on the music front, and you've done some interesting things in music, probably, I guess in part because of your father, but your life is, I guess you've been a public servant, but you've also done some promoting and some other things related to that. So speak a little bit about that.
Oh, gee, I don't know. It's been a while. I spent some time as a working musician. I worked in the business for several years as a working musician. That's how I wound up in Switzerland. It's actually how I wound up in Southern Illinois, working with Minnie Riperton and Rotary Connection back in the day in the late 60s. I hate for anybody to do the arithmetic. And got a little disenchanted with the business. And at the urging of a friend of my mom, I found myself working what I thought was going to be just a part-time job in public service at the State Unemployment Office at 109th and Central. And 43 years later, I finally decided to retire.
Wow, 43 years.
43 years.
And still, now you're back on Central Avenue with the Jazz Festival.
I'm back on Central Avenue, and I've never left Central Avenue in all the time.
Wonderful. Well, that's a good segue, right? That's a good segue. So we're back on Central Avenue. We have the 24th Annual Central Avenue Jazz Festival. Talk to us a little bit about your role in that Jazz Festival and your take on it and what you think about it.
Well, I've been aboard as an assistant, as an aide, as a provocateur, and sometimes a curmudgeon for a lot going on with the Avenue and the Jazz Festival for going on 22 years now. There have been so many wonderful people who were role models to me and godfathers to me who were involved many years. Buddy Collette and Teddy Edwards and Rosa Hooks in the beginning, and Bubba Jackson and Jose Rizzo and I have been working together for so many years. And have given me the opportunity, and in my view, it's a blessed opportunity to be involved with the festival because of what the Central Avenue community is. I love the Central Avenue community. I cannot express that any stronger. I love what the community represents. I love the history of the community and how important it is to us, and not just as African Americans, but as Angelenos, what Central Avenue was all about. And here again is another opportunity with the Jazz Festival, a continuing opportunity with the Jazz Festival to continue to grow and to continue not just to make that music statement, but to make that community statement where we share with the community and we have others to become aware and interested in what Central Avenue is all about and why we celebrate it so much.
So evolution from the Avenue, I guess, to the rest of the county, Southern California and beyond, right? That's wonderful.
And beyond.
Maybe back to Switzerland. Huh?
Maybe back to Switzerland. The thing about the festival that draws not just the community, but the musicians. There are musicians who want to play this festival because of the legitimacy of the festival. The festival, and legitimacy not just in the music, but the evolution of the music, but the real fact, and I don't want to be mean, but people come to this festival to share the community and to actually listen to the music. We know there are festivals where the music is just part of what else is going on, but there are audiences here who are serious about wanting to listen to the music, enjoy the musicians, seek that recognition.
Oh yeah, this is a very serious festival.
It's a very serious festival.
I used to come to see Gerald Wilson. I mean, if you
Absolutely.
come to listen to the Gerald Wilson Orchestra, I mean, you come to listen. You don't
come to
yeah.
listen, and you also get to share that time with Gerald Wilson.
Yeah,
who
absolutely.
It could cause me to come to tears just talking
Yeah,
about Gerald and what an
absolutely.
impact he had in my life. But it is that, it is that exactly. There are others and a number of colleagues who've been involved, along with Marie McClendon and a number of other folks, that could tell you that when we look down on the stage, from the stage, the first 6 or 7 rows of people we've been interacting with for the past 20 years. They're the citizens of Central Avenue, and they hold us accountable
Right. Right.
for what we do on that stage and what we acknowledge on that stage. And I usually look down. If they're nodding their heads, I know we're good.
Right. Right.
If they're
right.
smiling,
Right,
I know
right.
we're good. And if they're smiling, that makes me smile.
And you get the wonderful mix too. I mean, it's become increasingly
get a-
eclectic, I guess. You know, it's both
Very.
the audience and
Yeah.
and the music.
The music, I think, varied and diverse.
Right. Right.
About the music more than anything else, and the people who are now starting to willing to listen and understand the evolution of the music. You mentioned Gerald Wilson, for example. Kamasi Washington, and I'm just picking Kamasi out of a bunch of others who've been involved. Kamasi started on Central Avenue playing in Gerald's orchestra as a teenager.
Right. Right.
And because Gerald was aware of him, because they were neighbors and a number of other things, and Gerald giving Kamasi that opportunity to fit into that environment. And the Kamasi being the age that he is and being, that millennial, Gen Xer, kind of in that place between hip hop and jazz, or as one young man said to me once, Kamasi is Funkadelic meets John Coltrane.
Right. Right. Right.
But to understand that Kamasi is looking at not just that part of his education, but how that ties into current terms and current standards and kind of more current or more relevant types of music. Hip hop is the leading example. And Kamasi, of course, not only with Gerald Wilson, but with Raphael Sadiq and with Snoop Dogg and with Kendrick Lamar,
Right,
and to be able
right,
to pull
right.
those things together. And then the collective, not just Kamasi, but the Miles Mosleys and the Bruners and
Right,
so on,
right.
are just incredible.
Isn't it remarkable too? I mean, you take someone like a Kamasi Washington, who gets to start here. I mean, a kid. I mean, Central Avenue. Growing up with the Miles and all those guys, and then he becoming or being bestowed with this wonderful award, being the Musician of the Year by Downbeats voters, I guess.
Exactly.
Right? That is truly remarkable. I can't think of other California music or Los Angeles musicians who have been so on. That's like something they reserve for the New York musicians and stuff. So that is truly remarkable. And coming from here, coming from the Central Avenue, including the remarkable Central Avenue Jazz Festival.
Absolutely, and that's important. As you mentioned, everyone says New York, New York, New York, or maybe some of the other places. Los Angeles does have a jazz presence. It's always had a jazz presence. I think a little bit has been for whether it's intelligentsia or anything else. We've always had this West Coast thing that's happened. I mean, the Gerald Wilsons and the Eric Dolphys and all of those folks who were here, the Dexter Gordons, all those folks who were here. And I think just sometimes we've just missed our opportunity to connect that to Los Angeles.
Right.
I always say that Los Angeles is the capital of forgetting. Los Angeles forgets very quickly about the wonderful opportunity and the wonderful growth that we've seen here over the years when we talk about just so many other things, like the importance of Jefferson High School as just an
Indeed.
excellent example of education in Los Angeles in its time.
So you had Horace Tapscott, right? Sonny
had Horace-
Chris.
We had
Lots
Sonny
of-
Chris, we had Dexter Gordon, we had the Dolphys, we had a number of other musicians, including the New York reference. Alvin Ailey went to Jefferson High School.
Oh, he did?
So did Dorothy Dandridge.
Ah.
So did Dr. Ralph Bunche.
Wow. I know Ralph Bunche, right? Yeah.
And certainly there's a history to celebrate. That's part of the Central Avenue history, because of what Central Avenue was is maybe in its own Renaissance area, but just as in what Central Avenue could produce in both the arts and in
Put a little
entertainment
footnote on,
and in diplomacy.
Who was Ralph Bunche? Now, I know who Ralph Bunche is.
Dr. Ralph
Just tell
Bunche
us.
was the Secretary General of the United Nations in 1948 and was probably the most powerful black man in the world.
And he was accorded the Nobel
He was
Peace
accorded the
Prize.
Nobel Peace Prize,
Right, for his
yes.
work in the Middle East.
Yes.
Yeah. So right here,
Right here
off
from
of
Central Avenue,
Central,
right
Central
here
Avenue.
from
It's
41st
remarkable.
Place and Hooper.
Well, Michael, it's been great chatting with you. You know, there's so much I've learned, and I'm pretty sure if we were to sit down for another 2 hours or 2 days or 2 months, there's so much more that we could learn about yourself, about the Central Avenue Jazz Festival, as well as the life of your father, John. So, 24th Annual Central Avenue Jazz Festival. Tell us more.
Absolutely.
This is a
July
little summary.
27th, 28th. Please come and join us. Please come enjoy the festival, enjoy the community, enjoy the music, enjoy the history there is to be gained. Find me in this hat. Please say hello.
And I'll see you there.
See you there.
And I'll see you all there too at Central Avenue Jazz Festival.